I live in Anmore, West Virginia. Yes, it is a real place, look it up if you don't believe me. I have a few friends, mainly because the population is no more than 800 people. And one night, me and my two best friends, Jason and Thomas, set up a campfire in my backyard. It was dark and the only thing stopping the mosquitoes from eating us alive was the crackling fire. Jason finally stopped eating s'mores and said, Guys, I have a great idea. Let's tell scary stories." Thomas chimed in. "Wow, Jason, how original." Thomas rolled his eyes. Jason ignored him once again and began to tell a story. He then got a very serious look on his face and started talking in a deep voice. One day, there was a young boy who lived right here in Anmore. He was a curious little child, and one day he decided to go explore the woods. He eventually came across a lake. He was tired from walking and decided to take a dip. As he swam, he scraped his foot against something. He looked down and he saw a gravestone. Not one, but hundreds of gravestones. The boy went missing, never to be seen again. That lake was called Grave Lake. Thomas started laughing. That was so dumb. It's so dumb, I'll go look for Grave Lake right now. Come on guys, let's go. Neither of us objected, so I put out the fire and we hiked off into the woods. About 5 minutes of hiking, and Thomas wouldn't stop saying how much of a stupid story it was. Jason didn't really seem to care. In the middle of one of his sentences, Thomas stopped. There was a look of confusion and terror in his face. Thomas, what's wrong?" He didn't say anything. He just pointed forward, and about 50 yards ahead was a lake. Jason's eyes widened. Holy shit. My granddad told me that story, but I assumed he was just trying to scare me. Holy shit. There aren't any lakes in the area, so either this was Grave Lake from Jason's story, or it was an undocumented lake. Thomas was in a state of confusion. He wouldn't talk. He would just shake his head occasionally as we proceeded to the lakefront. We noticed that a low fog rolled over the lake, and it seemed to give off a strange, dim, purple glow. The lakefront was tiny, and we could walk from one end to the other in about 45 seconds. I was inspecting the area, and then I noticed a small wooden rowboat on the other end of the lakefront. Thomas pleaded, "No, please no." But me and Jason wanted to go anyway. We dragged Thomas along with us, and we got in and I used the oar to push us into the lake. Me and Jason were the ones who rowed. Thomas sat in the small boat just shivering. We were about 10 feet from shore, and then the boat turned left. Jason said, "Sorry, my oar got stuck on something." All of a sudden, the ground started to quake. The water became clear, like the waters in the Bahamas, but it had a purple tint to it. I saw what Jason's oar was stuck on. It was a gravestone. There were hundreds, no, thousands of sunken gravestones. They were covered in algae and weeds. I started to feel a fast tapping on the bottom of the boat, and me and Jason looked at each other terrified. All of a sudden, the boat flipped over and I just swam to shore, scared out of my mind. I looked back and I saw what tipped the boat. Hundreds of algae-covered, rotting arms were clawing at Thomas, Jason, and the boat and quickly pulled them under. I ran and I ran. I ran home and started to write this. I don't think I'll ever be going back into the woods ever again. Thanks for sticking around to the end. And if you enjoyed today's story, make sure to leave a like. And if you want more like it, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a story. If you need more now, why not check out my Creepypasta playlist? I'll leave that on this card, and I'll catch you in the next story.